Good evening, everyone. My name is Carlos Cano with the New Jersey Association for College Admission Counseling, and I want to welcome you to tonight's session, sponsored by the New Jersey Association for College Admission Counseling and StriveScan. A couple of housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can utilize the question and answer button at the bottom of the page to type your questions to our presenter at any time. Remember that your camera and microphone are off so that the presenter will not be able to see or hear you. This is just one of many sessions that has happened over the course of the last 2 weeks, and we still do have a few more sessions left this evening. Be sure to check those out at njacac.org/virtual fair. The presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week on that same website. And with that, I will turn it over to our presenter for the evening.
Awesome. Hi, folks. My name is Josie N. I am an admissions counselor for Lees-McRae College. I work mostly with students from Eastern North Carolina, as well as all of New England and the Mid-Atlantic states. So this is a snapshot of Lees-McRae. We are an absolutely stunning campus. Feels like we're in a magazine all the time, which is great. But we are the highest elevated campus east of the Mississippi River. So we sit right around 3,600 feet. Our sunsets are absolutely stunning, as you can see from this image. So if you're someone who likes to kind of go chasing the sunset or even sunrises, Lees-McRae could be a great spot for you. We've been here since 1900, so this is actually our 120th year anniversary this year. We started as a Presbyterian school, so there is a chapel on campus, but of course, no one's going to force you to practice a certain religion if that's not your thing. We encourage students to kind of go through their college experience, exploring whatever spirituality makes them feel most like themselves. But we do have that chapel on campus if that should be your thing. So we're located right in Banner Elk, North Carolina. We are a pretty small community, but the community is really involved with the college. Banner Elk is Lees-McRae, and Lees-McRae is Banner Elk, if that makes sense. So we've got one stoplight in town, and that is our one and only stoplight. Tons of mom and pop restaurants and local funky shops. We do get a lot of tourists coming into the area because of where we are located in the mountains. We get a lot of people coming for hiking in the spring, summer, and fall months. People come in to look at foliage in the fall as well. And of course, our winter sports athletes, skiing and snowboarding, snowshoeing, all that fun stuff when it starts to get a little cooler out. So we're located right in between 3 different major ski resorts. So Beach Mountain, Sugar Mountain, and Grandfather are all within like 30 minutes of campus. So if you're someone who really likes to explore the outdoors or even just look at the scenery, you're in a great spot to do that here. If you're more of a city person, we're about 25 minutes away from a town called Boone, which is quite a bit bigger than Banner Elk. So if you're more into shopping and checking out new and interesting restaurants, it's a great spot for you. We're about an hour away from Johnson City, Tennessee, which is even bigger than Boone is, an hour and a half from Asheville, North Carolina, and about 2.5 hours from Charlotte, North Carolina. So if you're interested in kind of exploring a bigger city, we are just a day trip away. So these are a couple of snapshots of those lovely mountains in the area. Grandfather Mountain has a great, really awesome skywalk that I haven't personally done it, but everyone I know who has done it says that it's absolutely stunning. Great views into the valley, one of the most beautiful picturesque spots that you could imagine down here. Sugar Mountain is another really popular resort around here. They do a lot of things in the wintertime as well as things all year long, pretty much. This coming weekend, they're doing a sort of fall event with local artists presenting their work, as well as musicians, food vendors. So there's tons of ways to be involved on campus and explore things off campus as well. We sit right around 1,000 students, so we are a little bit on the smaller side as far as colleges go, but with that experience comes more on one-on-one education. So we have an 11-to-1 ratio, so your classes are going to be a little bit smaller. You're going to get that one-on-one intimate education experience. Your professors are going to get to know your name, where you're from, a little bit about you. We're looking to grow this in the near future by expanding on some of our programs that are offered as minors, as well as offering some more master's programs. So tons of cool things happening in the near future, but right now we do sit right around 1,000 students. These are some awards that we've received over the past couple of years. So we've been awarded College of Distinction, Best College by U.S. News, as well as being Transfer Honor Roll friendly, awarded by Phi Theta Kappa, which really speaks to how easy it is for students to acclimate to campus. So if transfer students are able to come here and acclimate, find their tribe, find their people, as a first-year student, you definitely would be able to fit in with no problems, no worries. We do offer cross-disciplinary studies as well, so if you're really interested in the sciences, but you also are really into drawing or painting or performing, kind of two things that are worlds apart, you're going to be able to explore both of those sides of yourself here at Lees-McRae, whether that's through taking elective courses, different general education classes, or even picking up a minor or double major. So really being able to cultivate a holistic version of yourself while you're getting your education is something that Lees-McRae loves to be able to provide. We offer 24 different majors on campus, and they're split up into 4 different schools. So the School of Arts, Humanities, and Education houses our communication, arts, and design, which communication as well as studio art, kind of double right there. Elementary education, English, history, all of our theater programs are in this school, as well as our special education program. So if you're interested in becoming an educator with special needs students, we have a program for that right here on campus. We also have the School of Business and Management, which of course business administration and sports management, as well as outdoor recreation management is one that's pretty unique to Lees-McRae, and very unique that we have it housed in the School of Business and Management. A lot of schools with outdoor programs or adventure education programs kind of have them set aside in their own special school, whereas at Lees-McRae you'd be able to take your outdoor classes as well as take business classes. So a lot of students who are interested in going into outdoor tourism, exploring the mountains, really popular down here, but you'd be able to get in and out of the classroom experience. We also have the School of Natural and Behavioral Sciences. So we have a really strong biology program. It's one of our better known programs on campus. It's criminal justice, which you could have a specialization in forensic psychology through the criminal justice program, which is really awesome. Exercise science, human services, and nutrition science, as well as pre-physical therapy are ones that we recently added to campus, which we're really excited about. But really interesting things going on in there. Pre-veterinary medicine and our wildlife biology program are also very popular. So if you're into animal sciences, you'd be able to come right here, get some hands-on experience that I'll talk about a little bit more. But we also do have a psychology program on campus as well. And then in our School of Nursing and Health Sciences, we have a 4-year emergency medical service program, as well as a BSN program. So there really is a lot going on here at Lees-McRae. There's going to be a program for everyone. Most of our minors are the same as our majors, but I'll point out a few that we offer selectively as minors. So Appalachian Studies is a really unique one because of where we are in the mountains. The Appalachian Studies program focuses on Appalachian history, about the Appalachian people. You learn how to weave tapestries, you read poetry, you learn how to play different instruments. So it's really diving into the local history, which is just absolutely awesome. Another program that we only offer as a minor is our Spanish program, as well as our technical theater program, which is kind of like the behind the scenes stuff. So if there's your actors and then your people who do your lights and your sound. So our tech theater is a great option for those students who are kind of behind the scenes. Athletic coaching is offered as a minor, as well as cycling studies. Our cycling studies program is really unique. Students learn how to advocate for bicycle-friendly communities, as well as learning how to talk with local town halls and local politics, advocate for bicycles in your everyday environment. Ski industry business and instruction is another really unique one that we offer here at Lees-McRae. Another great way if you're someone who thrives in a non-traditional classroom, there's options for you here, and I'll kind of go deeper into that a little bit later, but if you're someone who's interested in winter sports, that could be a great thing to tack on. Wilderness medicine, again, is a great option for students who like to be in the outdoors. Our mathematics programs offered as a minor. Our wildlife rehabilitation is offered as a minor, as well as a specialization for our wildlife biology students. But those are all our minors that are offered. So we've got majors, we've got minors, and then we also have certifications. So these are weekend-long courses that students can take. So by the end of the weekend, you'd be licensed in something or other. One that's super popular is the scuba diving class. So we have a pool right on campus that students are able to get their scuba diving licensure in, which is so helpful here in the mountains, but it's really popular regardless. Another really cool one is our Wilderness Emergency Medical Technician course, which is really popular with nursing and EMS students, as well as even our criminal justice students who are interested in going into search and rescue or being a park ranger. But so you'll have your classroom experience, any internships that you have while you're at Lees-McRae, any jobs that you have here, as well as being able to add some of these certifications to your resume as well. So it really beefs it up. For our students who are interested in study abroad, Lees-McRae does things a little bit different than your typical college. Of course, we do have options for a full semester away, but through our experiential education programs, they're kind of shorter, more intense programs. So between 1 and 3 weeks long, you could do it over the winter break, spring break, even over the summer if that was something that you'd be interested in. They go all over the United States as well as pretty much everywhere you could imagine. This picture is from a trip they did a couple years ago. It was the English program, history, and outdoor recreation management. So again, being able to combine all those cool things together. But while they were where they were reading works from American Western authors, as well as learning about the settling of the American West, and of course, exploring the great outdoors. But there's trips that go to Jamaica and Belize, Italy, Sweden. So if you're someone who wants to travel but is a little bit nervous about being away for a whole semester, our experiential education programs could be a great fit for you. We do have an honors program on campus as well. So when you apply to Lees-McRae, you're we automatically look at your application for the honors program as well. So based on your GPA and the strength of your high school schedule, so if you're taking AP or honors courses, as well as your SAT or ACT scores, we factor in as well. But our honors program, it's not like students are taking an overloaded course schedule. You're just enrolled in other honors classes, so you'd be with honors students who are like-minded, be able to go more in depth with classroom discussions, things like that. But again, you wouldn't be taking like extra classes on top of everything else. We do offer a master's program right now. We offer a Master's of Arts in Teaching with biology, English, and history. But as I mentioned, we're looking to grow that in the near future. So by the time you folks are interested in applying to a master's program, which I'm sure seems like forever away, but by the time you're there, there's a good chance that Lees-McRae would be able to have more to offer as well. So with just 2 extra semesters, you'd be able to graduate with both a master's and a bachelor's from Lees-McRae College, which again is super awesome, saves you a little bit of time, saves you a little bit of money. Who wouldn't want that? This is our May Wildlife Rehabilitation Center, which again, I love talking about this. But so I mentioned that our community is really involved with the college. And this is kind of a good example of that. So say a community member found a bird with a broken wing or an animal had been hit by a car, something's just not going quite right. Community members can actually bring those animals right to the rehab center, and students who are pre-veterinary students, wildlife biology, wildlife rehab, they actually get to work with the animal, identify what species it is, identify what's wrong with the animal, and figure out how to make it feel better. The end result, of course, is to let it loose back into the wild, but students are able to work under the care of our campus veterinary as well as different advisors in the rehab center. And I think between like 15 and 1,800 animals go through this building each year. So it's awesome that students are really able to get some experience working with animals while they're getting their undergrad. This building also has the option for work-study positions right at the rehab center. So we do have work-study options available on campus. They come, they're reserved for students kind of through your financial aid package. So I'll talk about that a little bit more, but if you're someone who's interested in having a job while at Lees-McRae, definitely an option for you. So our satellite classroom is one of those non-traditional classrooms that I was kind of talking about. This space is mostly utilized by our outdoor recreation management as well as our ski industry, business and instruction students. However, you could take an elective course as on the ski mountain or even a general education course and get to use the great outdoors as your classroom. So there is an actual classroom on top of the mountain where students are able to receive instruction, but then they're also able to use the lifts and the slopes. So really awesome if you're kind of need a break from your everyday typical class. More than enough options here at Lees-McRae. We also do partner with Beach Mountain too, so if you're someone who really enjoys skiing or snowboarding, you'd be able to get a discounted student rate on a season pass. So a little perk that we've got going on here. Our May School of Nursing and Health Sciences is super cool. I love talking about this one also. I just love talking about Lees-McRae in general, but so on the first floor is kind of our emergency medical services as well as our pre-physical therapy and other health science courses. But for our EMS classes, we actually have an ambulance hooked up right into one of the classrooms. Students are able to feel what it's like to work with a patient who's on a gurney, know what it's like to loan a gurney in and out of the truck, as well as what it's like to work in an enclosed space. So really awesome that students are able to get that experience while they're getting their undergrad here. And then upstairs in the May School is where our nursing department is. So tons of cool stuff going on here as well. We have a lot of lifelike simulators on campus for students to really get experience before they start doing their clinicals. So whether you're interested in working with babies, children, adults, even the elderly patients, we have simulators for all of that. You'd get to work on what it's like to give IVs, how to bandage broken bones, how to take temperatures. These simulators can spit, they can go to the bathroom. We even have one that goes through the various stages of childbirth. So whatever you're most interested in, you're going to be able to get experience before you start your clinicals. Make sure that that's really where your heart belongs, which again, we love to be able to talk about. For our performers in the crowd, Hayes Auditorium in the Broyhill Theater is our largest auditorium on campus. We have 2 professional theater companies right in Banner Elk, as well as the university, of course. So there's 3 large stage productions each year, as well as smaller student-directed scenes. But we have a prop house on campus, so students make their own props, as well as the costume shop, so students can use the costume shop as well as make more costumes. Set design, same thing. They kind of partner both with the theater programs and with the studio art programs, so really awesome. Even as a non-performer, you would have your accepted students days, your new student orientation, even some open house events right here in Hayes Auditorium, so you'll definitely have experience with that right on Lees-McRae campus. The next couple of slides are kind of talking about meal plan options. So Lees-McRae is a 4-year residential school. When you live in the dorms, you'll live in the dorms as a first year and a second year student, whereas as an upperclassman, you could live in campus apartments, the villas, or even campus housing. So, but as a underclassman, you'll have an unlimited meal plan while you're living in those dorms, as well as having some flex dollars. We call that flex money Wiley's Bucks after our mascot, Wiley Bobcat. So this is Wiley's Bar and Grill. This is a spot where you could use your Wiley's Bucks. It's our late night food option on campus. So if you were up late doing some homework or watching movies with friends and really wanted to fry fries and a burger to get you through, you'd be able to pop on over. We also do have Starbucks right on campus. So if you're a major coffee drinker like myself, you're going to be able to get your fix in. We also do have Einstein Bros Bagels right on campus as well. So this is another coffee shop option. They do breakfast sandwiches, lunch sandwiches, smoothies, coffees, fancy coffees. So you'd be able to use your Wiley's Bucks right here, and it's located in our campus bookstore. We also do have the provisions on demand, which is kind of like a grab and go option. We call it the pod. But if you had a couple minutes in between class and wanted to stop in for a snack or a soda, maybe even grab a coffee, you'd be able to do that and pop back out on your merry way. And then, of course, we do have the McDonald Dining Hall as well, which is open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. So you could go in anytime, grab a snack, grab a meal, tons of things going on in there. You'll never go hungry here. For students who are interested in staying involved in athletics, but not through an athletic team, the Roy Hill Wellness Center would be a great way for you to stay fit. There's some basic cardio equipment as well as basic lifting equipment and some free weights in there. And that space is just used by our typical students. You wouldn't have to worry about sharing that space with the whole soccer team or the whole lacrosse team. It just would be your everyday average students getting their drive on. If you're someone who kind of likes to exercise more privately, the student rec space does have a private cardio theater. So you could do it without worrying, feeling like you're in a fishbowl. But the student rec space is also used for kind of a multitude of things. A lot of our sports teams use it for practice space. So you can see right here, our cheer team as well as our volleyball team uses this space quite frequently. And then in the student rec space, we also do have a rock climbing wall. So we have a competitive rock climbing team, which goes all over the region. And they compete in different events, which is awesome. Love to be able to talk about that. But if you're not into that and kind of more interested in just trying rock climbing, want to feel like Spider-Man every now and then, there are a couple free climb nights throughout the week. So you could just go in, drop by, climb on some stuff and head on your way again. So really cool options. There's something new to do every day here if you wanted to, but these are some more recognitions we've received. We are a very bicycle-friendly university. You can kind of attribute that to our cycling studies minor. But for example, like just this week, I saw someone riding their bike down 3 flights of stairs. So definitely, if you're a biker, you're in the right area right here. We also were voted a top adventure college in 2020, as well as in 2018, and then a top small school adventure college in 2019. So if you're someone who likes the outdoors, you're definitely in the right spot here in Banner Elk. So outdoors programs, tons of different things going on. The mountains are calling and they've got so much to say. There's different trips and activities that the student rec space holds. So again, as I mentioned, there is something new and different to do every day if you wanted. But if there's something that you wanted to do but you didn't quite have the right equipment for, you could also rent that right from the outdoor rec space. So if you wanted to go kayaking or canoeing, or even if you wanted to go camping but you didn't have a tent, you could just use your student ID. Most of the equipment doesn't have a charge. Some of it is like less than $10 to rent. You just use it and return it when you're done. And yeah, so we really like to encourage students to kind of explore if they're feeling up to it. We also do have a disc golf course on campus, so if anyone loves playing Frisbee in the crowd, definitely going to be able to provide that here for you. I love to be able to talk about it too because students were actually the ones who completed the grant in order to receive the disc golf course, which is super awesome. So if there's something about campus that you think could be different or better, if there's a club that you wanted to add, Lees-McRae wants to be able to do that. We're your home and we want to be able to feel as homey as possible. So if there's something that we could be doing more or better, we love to be able to do that. We love to be able to hear it, provide it for our students. We do have 23 NCAA Division II varsity sports on campus. So if you're someone who's interested in collegiate athletics, I'd be more than happy to get you in touch with your coach. We also do recruit for our rock climbing as well as our ski and snowboarding club sports. So if you're someone who's interested in that, you definitely have the option here at Lees-McRae. Another one that we really like to talk about is our esports team. So there's about 30 high schools in North Carolina that offer esports competitively at the high school level. And we said to ourselves, hey, that's really cool. I bet there's a ton of people who would want to be able to do that at college. And sure enough, there was. So they started about 10 years ago, and now they compete in 4 different video games. They've got their own esports court right on campus. And again, if this kind of speaks to if there's something that students are interested in that Lees-McRae doesn't provide right now, we want to be able to do that for you in the future. So really adaptable, kind of being able to ebb and flow with the needs and wants of our students. As I mentioned, the community is really receptive with the college as well. So not only are you going to have students coming out to support athletic events as well as productions, but community members are going to come fill those seats as well. This is a snapshot of our cycling team. They are the only sport of ours that is Division I. So they're actually a nationally ranked team, as well as having nationally ranked men's and women's cyclists. So we'd like to give them a shout out. But this is a snapshot of our athletic facility. So our track and field, our tennis courts, softball and soccer and lacrosse, as well as our swimming pool, which is located in the athletic complex, and the athletic weight room. So any of the space can be used by everyday students as well as the sports teams, whereas the athletic weight room is kind of booked out for each individual team. So if there was ever a time where you guys were doing a team lift, instead of going to the Broy-Hill Center and kind of overpowering everyone with your finesse and athletic ability, you'd go right to the weight room. Say on Tuesdays, the lacrosse team meets from 5 to 7 in the weight room, and you just do a team lift, and that's your practice for the day. But it's awesome that we're able to provide a space for you guys to do that. So for students who are interested in applying, our application is available through the Lees-McRae website, as well as we partner with the Common App. We also are a CFNC eligible, but that's mostly for North Carolina students. But so if you guys are interested in applying through the Lees-McRae website as well as the Common App, great way to check us out. As far as submitting your application goes, the application fee, of course, your high school transcript, as well as if you've taken any AP or dual enrollment classes, we'd love to see that college transcript when looking at your application too. If you've taken your SAT or ACT scores, of course, love to see those. We are test optional, so the NCAA does require our athletes to submit their test scores, but if you're not interested in athletics, you wouldn't necessarily need to submit them if you didn't want to. We have a personal essay, of course. There's like 5 or 6 different essay topics, and there's even one if you don't feel particularly attached to the rest, you could just hop on that one. It's kind of like a create your own adventure essay topic, as well as a letter of recommendation from a teacher who knows you pretty well. So your transcripts and your test scores kind of let us know who you are in the classroom, whereas your personal essay and the letter of recommendation let us know who you are as a person. And being able to combine those 2 things together really gives us a holistic idea of you as a student. Being able to make sure that Lees-McRae is a great fit for you and that you're a great fit for Lees-McRae and that everything's hunky-dory. So because we are a private institution, our tuition rates are the same in-state and out-of-state. So this is our all-inclusive sticker price, if you will. So this is the cost of tuition, the cost of housing, your meal plan, even extra fees like your print balance if you wanted to use the tutoring center or if you wanted to access help from the writing lab, all included right in this. The only thing that you would have to worry about on top is if you wanted to bring your car to campus, which first-year students are allowed to bring their car, but this even includes textbook rentals. So really, again, the only thing you'd have to worry about is if you wanted to bring your car. So when you apply, you're automatically eligible for our merit awards. So this is based on your GPA when you apply. Anywhere from $3,000 to $12,000 can be awarded. And based on our honors program, if you're accepted, again, as you apply to Lees-McRae, you're automatically applying to our honors program as well. And if you're accepted into that, there is an additional scholarship that comes with. And then we're able to offer a theater arts scholarship for our performers, anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000. They do in-person auditions as well as accepting tapes, things like that. So I'd love to be able to give you more information if you wanted, but to point that out. We also do partner with FAFSA. So this is the Federal Agency for Student Aid. The 2020 application just opened on October 1st. So it takes into account your annual household income based on your taxes. So this kind of gives you your idea of what your student loans would look like, how most people look at it. This also is where you would know more about if you're eligible for our campus work studies. So just something to think about. And then this is Libby Gregg. She's the director of the Office of New Student Engagement. So as a first-year student, Libby would be your advisor. She'd make sure that you're taking the classes that you should be taking, that your semester is set up the way that it should be for your first time here on campus. She also makes sure that your housing's all set and taken care of, that your tuition is all paid for. She's also a great resource if you wanted to get in touch with different clubs that are on campus, different resources off campus, if you wanted to find a job on or off campus. So Libby's kind of like a jack of all trades. She's more than happy to answer every and all questions that you have. And as a first year student, she's gonna be a good friend to you. And then lastly, our shameless social media plug. So we stay pretty active on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, as well as we'll be coming to TikTok pretty soon. So if you guys are on TikTok, be on the lookout for Lees-McRae and Lees-McRae admissions. But I believe that that is all the kind of boring information that I have for you. So I'm going to stop screen sharing, see if there's any comments going on here. And looks like we don't have any comments going on. But again, if there's any information that I could provide for you through the Lees-McRae website, Lees-McRae admissions, www.lmc.edu/admissions, you'd be able to contact me, my personal email, as well as any phone numbers. Shoot me a text, give me a call, send me an email. Be more than happy to talk with you. But yeah, that is Lees-McRae.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And thank you those of you that are joining us. When you close out the window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We'd appreciate your feedback. Remember that this is one of many sessions. We do still have a few sessions left this evening. Feel free to visit our website at njacac.org/virtual-fair. And that website is where you will also find the recording of this session in about a week. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a great evening.